Hi, and welcome to the 6th 6Weeks curriculum collaboration for kindergarten math. The range of dates will begin from May 10th until the last day of school, June 18th. In Unit 6, we will be identifying 3D objects, sorting 2D and 3D objects, identifying coins, discussing time durations and ordering the days of the weeks, and then personal financial literacy. In our scope and sequence for this year, we've added and updated the weeks. We've put in the subtitles for trajectories, the hands-on standards teacher edition, hands-on standards student pages, and the DOLs. Always make sure that when you're looking at the scope and sequence that you click on the actual title. If you click on that title, you'll be redirected to a document that kind of outlines much more of a pacing guide for you to use, which looks just like this. So for identifying 3D objects, we're giving about 8 days. Sorting 2 and 3 objects, 8 days. Coins, giving that about 6 days. Time and days, about 4 days. And personal financial literacy, about 4 more days. So for the first topic, which is identifying 3D objects, students are going to be classifying and sorting a variety of those regular and irregular figures. We have our vocabulary there, such as attributes of 2D figures, classify, irregular, properties, side sort, figures, vertex, and vertices. In pre-K, students were working with the common shape names and creating those shapes, and then also sorting them based on some similar attributes and languages. Be sure to note that we have the TELPAS that continues until the end of May. We have the EOY Map Fluency, which begins May 17th until June 4th. And then we also have EOY Map Growth, which is from May 24th until June 4th. For this unit, the topic in here for the 3D objects, we have one DOL, and that's 3D solids. If you get to that and finish it, we have a second one, a 3D solids part 2. Some essential questions for this unit would be what attributes and properties exist between the 2D and 3D figures, and then what relationships exist between the two. Additionally, what attributes and properties are used to sort and classify those figures. Some misconceptions about patterns and identifying 3D objects would be that students may think the 3D figure can be named using the name of one of its 2D faces, rather than realizing that 3D has its own specific and pertinent name. They may also think that the size, orientation, texture, and/or color define the name of that shape, when in fact we can change it around and still be the same shape. The next topic would be sorting the 2 and 3D objects. So everything we just worked on for the first topic, we're going to be using those along with the 2D objects and comparing those a bit more. The essential questions for this topic are the same, as are the misconceptions and developing concepts. The third topic for this unit would be identifying coins. One of the readiness standards for kindergarten is read, write, and represent whole numbers from 0 to 20 with and without objects and pictures. We're going to be using those and talking about them, but identifying those coins with K4A, identifying them by name. Some vocabulary would be coin, copper, dime, head and front, nickel, penny, quarter, silver, tail and back. In pre-K, though they didn't work with coins, they did sort objects using language, and they recognized patterns and created those patterns, which leads right into coins and money. Some essential questions would be just very surface level. What are those attributes of each of those shapes or each of those coins students are to recognize? And again, they're recognizing the attributes of these pennies. It's 1 cent, yes, but not working with the cent symbol, just the understanding that it's 1 and a nickel is 5 and dime is 10. Some developing concepts would be that they're still exploring traditional and special editions of those. We have the nickel, the regular nickel, and then the buffalo nickel, right? So making sure they can sort and classify those by discerning those distinguishing features. The emphasis here in kindergarten is on identification only and not on the value relationships or counting them, just knowing which coin is which. Additionally, some misconceptions would be that students may think that the coins are identified by their color or size, rather than recognizing that those characteristics, such as the images on them, tell what type of coin that is. The fourth topic that we're going to be discussing in kindergarten for the 6 weeks is discussing days and time. This content the standard of this unit doesn't have any TEKs that go with it. And so we're basing some of the learnings right now on what they're going to be doing in first grade next year. So for us in kindergarten for this unit for these 4 days, we can be working on time intervals, AM, PM, schedule of the day and when things occur, evening versus morning, dusk and dawn, days of the weeks, months of the year. In kindergarten again, or pre-K, students used language to describe the passing of time, and they also ordered different items throughout the day and recognized patterns and created those. That is essentially what days, month, and time are, just patterns. So we're going to be continuing to work with that. Some essential questions can be, what are days, weeks, months, and seasons of the year, and how do calendars work? Some misconceptions may be that students aren't accustomed to having weekend and weekdays, evenings and mornings, dusk and dawn. A lot of the vocabulary that students may not have heard before. They also may think that the start of the week is different. Some say Monday, some say Sunday. And additionally, on calendars in our classroom, many times they see the M, T, W, and TH, and F for the days of the week, and they can't recognize, or not yet do they recognize the actual word. The last topic for the 6 weeks will be personal financial literacy. And in that, kids are identifying ways to earn income, differentiate between money that's gifts and income, listing simple skills required for jobs, and distinguishing between wants and needs. In pre-K, again, they recognize those patterns, and so that's one of the prior learnings carrying over into this unit. Essential questions for personal financial literacy for kindergartners could be, why do certain jobs require certain skills? What are needs? What are wants? And then what are some ways that we can satisfy those needs and wants? Again, in kindergarten, students are identifying ways to earn income and differentiating between money received as income and money received as a gift. So some misconceptions students may have would be that they think that only uh, income is only earned through working a job rather than knowing that it can come from goods and services and the sale of those goods and services. They may also think that wants and needs are the same for all people rather than realizing that for each person, a want may be different than someone else's want and a need may be different than someone else's need also. As always, we have those resources for kindergarten such as the instructional calendar, scope and sequence, Orgo, hands-on standards, and Pathblazers. And then we have digital copies of all the TEs in our resource folder. If you're in Region 1 and need additional math assistance, you may contact the coordinators, John Reed or the coach Kyle Munyon. In Region 2, you can contact the coordinator Adam Gutierrez. Region 3, the coordinator Mrs. Kenyel Carr, and one of the coaches, Bettina Dixon or Oksana Snektarov. In Region 4, the coordinator would be Miss Luana Jones, and the coaches are Tracy Barnett, Jennifer Northern, Jamie Palo, Stephanie Poe, and Luz Ruiz.